Hello, Snappy Pancakes here, doing something a bit different today, something that I actually haven't done quite yet on my channel. It's not a time-lapse video, it is something that I have been working on without the pressures of time-lapse. This is going to be my next park that I'm very happy with, and I'm very keen to show it off. I have only time-lapsed the row house buildings, and something else which I haven't shown just yet. Everything else, including the station, I haven't time-lapsed. So for this part, this is the main entrance, and the whole theme of this park is sort of Dutch architecture, something like Amsterdam, something like the Netherlands, with lots of Dutch row houses that sort of, you know, join together, and they're all separate and you can place them together. I had a lot of fun sort of treating this game a bit like City Skylines and using it to make my own architecture and then putting it together, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love the layout so far, with the Ferris wheel at the very end. And over here, what I have made is a train station that's based off a train station found in Maastricht. It is not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. It's close enough for me, basically. And I call my park Nederland, which is obvious as to why, with some Dutch flags and stuff like that. I really spent quite a long time on the station, if I just go inside, because I had to do something from the inside, and when you have to plan the inside, it can be... oh, what's going on? I have to find a different way in. It can be a bit more complicated. Okay, so yeah, there we go. I'll show you the inside. I mean, it's not too special, nothing too incredible, but you know, with the stained glass window and the posters and the clocks, it has something of an inside. I mean, the most complex part was this sort of, I don't know what to call these, like pavilion things, like something like these glass, they're supposed to have glass in the middle, I don't know what to call that, like something like Crystal Palace, something like that, and that was the most complex part of that. But I'm generally very happy with how it turned out. I'm not sure if I can put this on the workshop because it's 2,830 pieces. But I'm thinking if I get rid of the green parts and put them separately, then I can upload it. Something like that. So, what else haven't I shown you yet? Well, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go through with you how I create a building, something, you know, one of these row houses, and I'm going to place it now. My pride and joy, something I spent quite a long time on, that I really love how it turned out. It was probably the most complex thing I've created in Planet Coaster. Definitely one of the most complex things I've created, and it had such a unconventional shape that it was a bit more of a challenge. So let's see. Here we are, my Dutch windmill. It was really you know, it's several different windmills put together, several different designs, and you know, I think I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, I had to scale it to the size of the blades, but all in all, I mean, it's different on every side. It had, I mean, this was the most difficult part to build. I don't know what those things are. I think they control the direction of the blades. I think windmills in general in Holland, they spin like on this axis. You see that white band? They can spin to catch the wind in different directions. Some of them can't, but some of them can. Something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But I think it turned out well. The only problem I have with it is that because the shape was a bit too complex, it looks a bit melty. But I mean, it's the best I could do. If we had a smaller sized wood plank, then it would probably be a bit better. But all in all, I'm not too unhappy with how it turned out. It's available on the Steam Workshop if you want to have that. And so let me talk about first how it's going to be expanded. Well, I created this lake here. It's going to be mirrored to some degree in, and there's going to be another lake around here. This is going to be sort of like a canal that goes through. I'm not sure how much I'm going to continue the city part, maybe a few more smaller buildings around to the side here. And some roller coasters on the outskirts. I want to make a roller coaster that's like in Saw, perhaps a wooden roller coaster, definitely a log flume. A log flume is something I've been wanting to make for a while, and some other things, some more adventure rides. But it has to look. It has to go with the skyline. Like it has to sort of line up with things. You see how the windmill is gonna line up with this road, and this part lines up, and in this part I have to think of how it's gonna be. I mean, pay no attention to this. This might not be here. That magic carpet ride. And to make such a lake with a certain shape, I do this trick that I do with city skylines. I just draw a path along the side, and then I lower the ground, fill it with water, then I delete the path, and then I smooth it out. It's very simple. It gives it more of a, I don't know, the edges look a bit more lake-like, as opposed to doing it this way. This way I did it by digging, and you can see it's not finished yet, but you can see generally how different it turns out because it's all at different depths. On to the most exciting part, at least for me. This is what I'm working on at the moment, and I'm really, really, really happy with how it's turned out at the moment. This is Snappy Manor. That's what I'm going to call it at the moment. I mean, if you can think of a better name, please tell me. Oh God, I'm dying. So this is my haunted house dark ride. It's very heavily inspired by elements of Phantom Manor and the Haunted Mansion, but changed to fit my narrative and to fit it a bit more with the objects that can be used. This whole piece, and I mean, originally it was supposed to be an experiment on, because I wanted to recreate the Haunted Mansion as perfectly as I could with triggers as a dark ride. But there were so many limitations, and I think this turned out so well that I'm not sure if I even need to, because all these things are as good as they can be in terms of like Haunted Mansion effects and things. So we have a big front garden, and this sort of copies elements of Phantom Manor with the pavilion to the side, with the queue area. This is the fast pass track, so you don't have to queue in this huge area before you ride. I mean, this is also, once you go inside, I left a door open, like I left an open door, and I made it look a bit decrepit, so you could walk inside, and you first you see the first room, which is just some sort of displayed stuff with a cauldron, and I'm not sure about these. I mean, this is the sort of skeleton-y thing. I think I'll turn it to nighttime because it would be a bit better. Skeleton-y things, burning skeletons, tortured skeletons. I don't know if it goes there. Maybe it goes at the end of the ride a bit better. But look at that heat effect. It looks incredible, doesn't it? Look at that. It wobbles. I actually didn't notice that. That's so cool. Okay, and here we have a sort of like an old wake or something, like someone, his coffin was just left there, mysteriously. That's maybe the owner of the house or something. And there we have a creepy statue. Well, sort of creepy-ish. I mean, as creepy as I could make it with lighting. So this is not finished yet, my ride. Maybe I will. I think I'll go through the corridor first. So we go through this corridor, and once we go through, we are in the grand hall room, which is where the cars basically come from, and that's where you load on, and that's where you unload. The unloading part is behind this wall, so you can't see it. So let me show you this from above before we continue. So it's quite a large ride, all in all. I mean, you can probably see some of these effects happening at the moment with lightning and these kind of things. This is all incredibly easy to do with triggers. All you need to do is set the lights to go off for 0.1 of a second each, and then you set the time at intervals of, like, for instance, 0.1, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.7, intervals, so it gives it strobing flashing effect, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. I mean, one of the main aspects of this is the lightning. I mean, the Haunted Mansion has lots of lightning, so, suits of armor, fireplaces, 3D effect by making sort of diorama for outside the windows, so it looks like you're looking outside at some crazy things. You barely notice this because you're not looking at the windows, but it gives an effect of lightning happening outside. This is the corridor of doors. You can see them. Some of the effects are triggered and some of them not. I haven't triggered everything yet. And here's some more lightning windows, some more lightning there, and this is my absolute favorite part. This is the corridor of doors with the creepy guy. This is a creepy gesture at the end, but it looks exactly how I wanted it to look. It really gives off this unsettling vibe. I think that's, you know, based off the never-ending corridor. And here I made it so the lights flicker, you know, as in there's an electrical surge or something. And it's all triggered to when they go by, and there's a guy getting burnt in the fireplace. And here, I have to put some sound effects on. I haven't done that yet, but here, some sort of electric surge. I figured out a way to use those electric cables, and then put a big bong when that happens. It might even be my channel's bong, who knows, as a sort of little Easter egg. And what do we have here? It's the last bit I've worked on, and this is the organ. It's going to be at the beginning of a big pavilion. We have unfortunately it's only an alien playing, but you know, for a second this comes on and gives it a sort of ghostly effect. I can't see all of the effects. The candle lights don't work the way I want them to. They're always bright. You see the flames come on for a second, but the candles always stay bright, and that ruins the effect. And you can see the smoke coming out for a second when it's playing. It needs a bit of work. It's not finished just yet. I mean, all this hasn't been done. There's going to be a ballroom, an attic or a basement, and then something, you know, like an outdoorsy area, catacombs. I mean, you don't know, but you know. So let's write it without further ado. I think that's what everyone wants to see it right now. So I have to go to the front. Here we go. So there's no sound effects. I'm going to talk over it for now because it's not the walkthrough. I really love the way the tree at the back looks and then comes alive with the jet effect. It looks really ghostly. I mean, there are no ghost effects, so I had to make do. And you know, the suits of armor looked very creepy since they're triggered at a certain point, and they just, you know, they don't move until that one point. So various sound effects will be here. There's the saw. I should make it triggerable. There's a flame that pops out the top there with some electricity. But this is my absolute favorite part. This really, it just looks, the dimensional shift, like the way the walls change angles, really gives the effect I want. And I had to be really careful to make sure the track could see everything when it goes pi, as you can see. It was quite, you know, you have to pay attention to which way the car is seeing, otherwise it won't look at all the stuff you're building and you'll waste your time completely. So as you can see here, it's a bit late, you know. But yeah, all in all, that's my Haunted House Dark ride at the moment. I'm really having a lot of fun making this, and if you have any suggestions or comments or anything of the sort, feel free to message me. I have, you know, a lot of love and care is going to go into this. It's going to be my most favorite project I've worked on at all. So, time to go into day mode. And I mean, I tried to record this before, and before it sort of, I went through how I made like a random building like this, but it didn't record, so I don't know. I mean, it would suck to have to do it again. But if you guys want a series where I create my own houses to show you how they're done, and feel free to let me know. I don't know how many people are actually interested in that, but I just basically give you some tips about how I would give you some tips how I would go about creating that, to make sure all the things are level and spaced equal, and these kind of things, which can be quite difficult. But I think I'm not going to do that now because I don't have the patience right now to do that, unfortunately. So that, oh yeah, I forgot to show you one last thing. The lighting is one of the coolest things about this game. Everything is, you know, lit. That's finished. I haven't quite finished with all the detailing here. I have to put some more plants and stuff, but I have added an extra layer underneath these lampposts so they give off a greater, you know, depth of light. Otherwise hardly any light is emitted. And to contrast it, I decided to light up the part of that building with the blue, but I didn't like the top because it has the stained glass window, and I wanted that to be, you know, very visible. Another cool thing about the lighting that I have done, a thing that I like quite a lot, is this little rainbow square. I've seen this in the Netherlands a while ago. I remember seeing them light each building with a different color, and I think it looks really cute, and I think it looks really cool, and I think it's a very easy effect to do. If you want to create this effect, just make sure the colors go along the color spectrum as best you can, and that's basically what I have tried to do. And I like the way this also glows neon bright and everything. It needs some more lighting in this area. I mean, this city looks quite dark, but there will be some more lighting soon. I mean, you can see here, that's how the lights look when you don't put any extra lighting on it. So it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So, okay. So, I think I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you in my next episode, where I'm pretty sure my next episodes will be finishing off the Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom, but I'm also going to be showing the videos where I make these row house buildings, pretty much. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any comments, let me know. Or comments or questions or queries, or if you haven't subscribed already, you can, it's an option. And if you that's pretty much it. If you have any more things you want to do, if you're bored and your finger doesn't have anything to do, you can click like, because you know that's also possible if your finger is really bored. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video if that happens. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to see more, you can click in one of these boxes and it will lead you to more of my videos. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. And if you... I don't know what else to say. Well, that's it. So yeah, enjoy.